Hello, everybody. So good to see you guys today. Thank you so much for joining this live edition. This is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. Hey, Daniel, what's going on in the chat? Good to see you today. It is Friday. It is Friday, and we're excited. This channel, if you do not know, we specialize in giving you the latest and greatest in technology, information, and news. We also have a lot of discussions about AI. We've been talking about AI for now almost going on 8 months for so it's been a while. It's been a while, and I just love to kind of discuss and talk. And as we're talking, we're learning from each other in this community. It's a great community. Yes, it is. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween, Daniel. I'm still. We're still on the still live on the holidays. Not missing a beat. And it's sort of great to be here to start off the weekend. This is what I look forward to. So thank you again, everyone, for joining the chat. If you're watching the replay for the first time, we're gonna really talk about some things. We're gonna talk about a brand new browser that OpenAI ChatGPT has since released, and it's gonna probably rival Google's browser, and so that should be an interesting topic. But we're gonna get into a lot of things. Once again, this is Brett with Anvil Music and Media, and I'm so glad to have you a part of the chat today. And it is Friday. It is Friday. So most of you guys know, if you don't already, this channel, I built this channel originally. We built this channel to discuss and to talk about different topics. Um, for example, Apple products. I started this channel maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were looking to just add some value to the space where I was. Apple, of course, is a very, very popular brand. People pretty much, for the most part, they're mostly like iPhone users. You do have people that still use tablets and iPads. Even though I don't know if iPads are as popular as they used to be. I'm not sure. I don't see a lot of iPads like I used to. It looks like the phone is still has sort of taken back over that space. But in essence, we are still connected to our devices, very much so connected. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna last. I mean, I don't think that's gonna not well. That's going to last, and it's going to be a continuation of us into the future of having wearable devices, right? To sort of monitor what we do, to give us feedback as we give it sort of our feedback of our daily routines and what we are. And we've talked about that even in terms of what that looks like in the future. So, um, yeah, it's gonna be a great morning. So, um, and of course, as many of you guys know, and some of you may be in the content creation space. This content creation space is ever growing. It's always changing, and I'm always sort of trying to learn that the space. Don't quite know everything, but I've been here long enough to have acquired some brand deals. And Daniel says, I heard that the Air was just a test platform for Apple, the Apple Fold. Interesting. Interesting. That is actually probably true. As what Daniel was saying is he's talking about, and if you don't see, go check out the chat. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. But Daniel is saying that he hears that the Air is a test platform for the Apple Fold. That has been ongoing conversation for probably a couple years now. It's just been on how Apple is teasing a foldable phone. Don't ask me, but I feel like that is definitely old technology. I wouldn't. I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily like for. I wouldn't necessarily want Apple to go back and go back in time and sort of construct or repair a piece of technology, not repair, but construct a phone that is already been out. Yeah, there's just so much more that that it can do. Like for example, with Siri, like Siri is a program that should have really been a part of Apple's success and going forward with AI and using it for that purposes. So anyway, um, yeah, it should be interesting. Um, so about this browser, and now this is a brand new browser. And guys, I want to tell you. So the news is right now. It looks like OpenAI has a new browser that they just pretty much released. Um, and we're gonna talk about, how does OpenAI ChatGPT, the new browser, how does it rival Google's browser? And we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna get into that. Um, Daniel says Atlas has already been hacked. Jesus, has it really? Man, it's all wow. Well, what Atlas is supposed to be doing, it's supposed to integrate search and reasoning. But apparently, according to Daniel, it's already been it's it's already been hacked. Um, so OpenAI has a new browser. It's called Atlas, and right now, Atlas is concentrated on integrated search and reasoning. And so instead of just showing you like a list of links like Google does, and that's the thing. I don't know with these browsers. We're talking about older technology, and browsers are kind of older technology. So I don't know how much this is going to work because Google is just going to do the same thing or some version of what ChatGPT has already released. But basically, this browser is Atlas is instead of just showing you a bunch of links like Google, the browser actually reads the web pages and synthesizes all the information. So it squeezes the juice out of the fruit, so to speak. And you don't have to worry about um, worry about peeling the fruit or getting the seeds out. It actually gives you the answer all in one flow. So Daniel says no, Neo Home Robot 500 a month lease. Yeah, I don't know what is the Neo Home Robot. That's interesting. Gorkopedia is just well, yeah, and we'll talk about Gorkopedia, but Atlas is basically used for content awareness. You can use it for content awareness. Basically, it remembers, and it crazy. It remembers your previous questions with a conversation, so you can refine your query or your search like naturally in a natural processes as you sort of search and research. It remembers your previous questions within a conversation. So I don't know how many conversations have we had with our AI software, and for it, the ability to remember. Now, the key to that is, of course, it's your search and your history. Google has used Google search, and Google search is probably the most it's probably the most famous. I mean, it's led the way in browsing on the internet for 20 plus years. Um, but what Google does is you search, and it actually takes that information and uses it for for marketing purposes for companies to be able to market to you, specifically to whatever your supposed wants or new needs are. So it's context awareness, right? And which is really good. Like previous questions within a conversation that you've had, it's sort of curtailing its structure of uh, how it spits out information to you. Also, real time web access. Obviously, that means ChatGPT it now has live internet data, so it's connected. There's no cutoff. There's no sort of snapshot in time of, and so that's been the thing with these AI platforms. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty certain that it's had to have itself updated, and people have the programs have had to update it because it hadn't been connected to the internet. Well, now it's real time internet browser and web access, right? And also the final thing is it's also there's no ad bias on it. And so this is probably a good thing, right? Because we know most of the internet is controlled by ads, and but Atlas is designed, at least for now. I mean, and so don't hold your breath because it's probably going to change. But it's designed around clarity of all of the searches and not just click through revenue, right? Google has all of that. So um, today I'm going to talk about how Atlas, and so if you're just joining, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're talking about the brand new browser of ChatGPT, Atlas, and how it rivals Google's current browser. So, in Atlas, if you don't know, look it up already. It was just released. So here is how it actually rivals um, Google's browser. So one of the features is personalization, right? And it's tailored to like your ongoing chat and how you chat. Um, and it's also based off of your past searches and your ads and your tracking. It has an interface also that is chat based. So chat based is clearly like that's the obvious way to go, right? The ultimate goal of Atlas is to actually answer and assist you. Now that's pretty common, right? Pretty common today. So you can just find and click, basically. And why is this a big deal? Because it's a part of AI shift from actually search engines to answer engines. So instead of you searching and having to search and getting links, and then you get the link, and then because Google is more based off of like how we would research in the library. Now anybody knows what about a library. If you don't, you're probably too young. I'm pretty sure people still know about libraries, right? Um, let's hope so. But who actually does research in the library? I mean, unless you're, in college and in grad school, nobody's really at the library researching. I don't know. But here's the thing: with this shift from search engines to answer engines, now you're getting rid of these older style of search engines like Google has. And Google search engine has been amazing for years, and I really think the foundation of what Google's been able to establish with getting us to search on things has been based off of advertisements and marketing. It can very easily market you, uh, or market companies to you, the consumer, and generated obviously billions of dollars, billions and millions of dollars. So, but but the reason why this conversation is such a big deal is because if Atlas continues improving, it would definitely challenge Google's dominance in the information age of retrieval and search. It's absolutely gonna challenge it the same way YouTube challenged TV. And so that's yet to be that's yet to be determined, but we shall see. um we shall see that. So Daniel is in the chat. Daniel says Gorkopedia. Man, I need to know. Give me more information on Gorkopedia. I'm curious as to yeah. Sharon is in the chat. What's going on, Sharon? Thank you for joining today. Appreciate you. uh it's good to see you today. Thank you so much. Daniel, you have to give me more information on Gorkopedia. That is probably going to be an interesting conversation once we jump into that. So, talking about Atlas, guys, we're talking about Atlas today, and Atlas is a rival search. Now let's call them answer engines. So we have search engines and we have answer engines. So we've been used to searching the web for 20 years plus, right? But what happens when the web starts searching for you, right? So, and what that means is the web is actually getting information from you, and it's tailoring its information and all the data and the answers it receives to who you are, you as the consumer. Um, yes, Sharon, nice day. Yes, good day to you. Thanks for joining the chat. Thank you guys who are here, who are watching. I appreciate you guys so much. So we're talking about the shift, right, from search engines to answer engines, and the Atlas has the potential to shift where we are and how we search. And I'm curious about that. So I'm also curious, Daniel, in Gorkopedia, and yeah, I really want to talk about Gorkopedia as well, because I mean Daniel actually mentioned it in the chat. And so with Gorkopedia, and this is just a sidebar. um, what is Gorkopedia? Gorkopedia is AI generated. Also, it's an online encyclopedia created by, of course, XAI, right? Elon Musk. And the idea of Gorkopedia was to create a Wikipedia style based knowledge, but generated and edited by AI language model rather than like human editors. So this is I'm glad Daniel brought this up because we can sort of tie Gorkopedia into this talk about Chat GPT's new search browser and why it matters and how it actually connects to this topic, right? So when you're covering when you're browsing something, right? It's a search versus answer conversation, right? Gorkopedia is absolutely relevant in this case because it actually reaches out and touches those who creates or who curates the knowledge and how we access information, right? While Google is, more traditional in its search engines, relying on the ability to index its pages, right? So, um, and there are a lot of articles that support this. So anyway, Daniel says Neo is the big AI news. It ships next year. It's a 20K home assistant robot where they're offering it on lease for 500 monthly for the first viable home robot. It's going to start the home robotics revolution, and that I do not doubt. I would say to that we are headed to humanoids and robots. I I love the idea. I don't necessarily like the fact that if it's 500 a month, is this going to be a robot that we're going to have to rent? I mean, it's clearly we're clearly in the subscription based society, and I've talked about this before plenty of times. But these are all major happenings, and if this is the future of where we are, we've got a lot of collision, and we've talked about AI colliding with crypto. Now we've got search engines in the mix. Daniel's giving me the website. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that website. Oh yeah, that is the big news right there. Look at that. Neo home robot. It's actually pretty cool. Um it says order now. It's a $200 deposit. So I'm curious as to what this robot's gonna do, guys. This is very interesting. So you got Neo home robot. Look at this guy. Uh well, look at this. A robot without a mouth. Interesting. So we've got the stand, and this is what I'm talking about. Like the standard, there's a standard monthly subscription, but it's $499 a month, and there's a starter pack productivity package. They don't really have a lot of information up here. But you can have early access. This is the Neo robot, guys. Let me see what we have here. Artificial intelligence. This is actually pretty cool, man. Daniel, thanks for given this 1x world model. Okay, evaluate the success of AI models. Let's see if we got some. Oh, that goes to a YouTube video. I don't necessarily want to go there. Okay, so what does this do? It says AI's latest reinforcement. Controller gives Neo Gamma a complete mobility toolkit, enabling natural walking any direction. Huh, interesting. This is all pretty cool, guys. Very, 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 very interesting. Very, very interesting. You guys see this? Hold on. Let me get that out the way. Nabbit's in the chat. Hey Nabbit, how you doing? We're actually checking out this new like Neo robot. Daniel actually. It says, "Hey man, currently puff painting, can't stay, but happy to see you back." Yeah, it's happy to be back. Thank you so much, Nabbit. It's good to see you. So it's got walk, stare, run, kneel, shuffle, pivot, sit. All right, this is very interesting. Something from the future. Quite. I don't know. Robots have been around for so long. I don't even. So Redwood AI. So this Redwood is the AI model that enables Neo to help around the home, moving, perceiving, interacting with the world autonomously, trained on real-world experience. It handles everyday tasks, doing laundry, answering the door, navigating smoothly through familiar spaces. That is interesting, man. You guys seeing this? Very, very interesting. As soon as I see him turn the door open, it kind of looks. It looks very. The movements aren't the greatest, right? Why is his hand so big? Mobile manipulation, capable of navigating objects of interest and coordination. Yeah, this is. I don't know, guys. They got to do some more with this. Daniel says, look back at the homepage. Okay, I'll go back. I'll go back and look at the homepage. Let's see if I can get back to the homepage, guys. Let's see here. Is there anything specific, Daniel, that you see on the? They show it doing homework task. Okay. Homepage transform for. Okay, here we go. Transform your home. Okay. Neo takes on boring and mundane tasks around the house so you can focus on what man. Is that a pretty tall robot? Why does it look so vintage? This looks like the 80s, right? It's got a helping hand, provides assistant. We're just looking at this Neo robot. That's going to be apparently your new AI humanoid assistant. Reclaim time, automates household chores. What I want to know is how do you clean this thing? It probably gets pretty dirty, right? Daniel saying scroll down. Okay, I'm scrolling. Automate your chores. Clean your bedroom. Okay, expert mode. It works autonomously by default. For any chore it doesn't know, you can schedule one expert to guide it, helping Neo learn while getting the job done. Oh, this is definitely interesting. Daniel, I'm going to have to do for sure I'm going to have to do a video on this. Like, this is so interesting. Let's see what else. Soft and safe. Neo is designed for a gentle, safe interactions, making it perfect for people and the home. Guys, this is next level, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of things that I see here. I mean, it's not, but I'm gonna have to absolutely dive into this. This is great. Light light, quiet, soft, and gentle. And this is supposed to be released next year. Next year. And they say the thing grows with you. Neo is built with full autonomy. Early access offers foundational autonomy with continued use. Neo learns and unlocks. Daniel, so I'm curious, what technology are they using? Who is behind? Who is the company here? Yeah, I'm just curious about that because that is that's that's sort of interesting. That's kind of interesting, guys. Um, 1X. Okay, I've never heard of 1X. I'm not sure where have they been. Has 1X been on the? Have they been around for a while? I've never heard of 1X before. Um, but yeah, definitely that's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Redwood engine is in the house. Oh, it's in house. Oh, Redwood engine is in house. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do some research on that. And that's actually interesting. If you guys don't get it, if you don't get a chance, let me see. Let me. Dang, I want to have you put that website back in the chat. Well, I have it. I have it here. This is the website, guys. Get a chance to look at this. This is quite amazing. An in-home robot that you can purchase. I guess you can purchase at a subscription, as a subscription, and this robot is. Do they have a name for it, Daniel? You said they show it doing homework task, which is funny. Like kids are supposed to do homework tasks. That's like crazy. Um, do they have an actual official name for it? It's gonna start. Yeah, I do believe it's gonna start the revolution, the home robotics revolution. Neo. Okay, it's Neo. That's interesting. Yeah, Neo. Wow. Well, there you have it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a deep dive into this. I almost want to do an actual pre-recorded video on this because I think you're right, Daniel. I think this is gonna we're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna and I think technology has become what's happening is technology has become a lot more economical and a lot cheaper for people to be able to have access. You would think probably 10, 15 years ago, this being a technology that has probably still has been around for a while, but in most cases, people cannot afford it, right? People haven't really been able to afford it. Well, $500 a month, it's not cheap, but it is something that the everyday person, the average person, can afford. So, the key idea in this is that it's technology is becoming more affordable for the majority of people who just are everyday people, work everyday jobs. So it's definitely interesting. Um, Daniel says, I always say about space tourists, the more rich people who do it will drive the cost down to levels you and I can't. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's you hit the nail on the head. Like you're like you said exactly what I believe. Like and that's been the case since because it becomes commonplace, right? Um, as it gets popular, it has to become centralized, or it has to be pushed out to the world and to all consumers. Because how else are you going to be able to make money? You can make a product, or in this case, a robot for niche purposes, and it's almost like it reminds me, Daniel. Actually, it honestly reminds me of Apple and when they released the iPhone. Um, iPhone's very expensive from the jump, and people are like, "Oh no, that's not going to last. The prices are too high. It's no way you're going to be able to stand the test of time." in the market, because there were other phones out there. Nokia was out there. I mean, you had Samsung still out there, but Apple's phones are super expensive, and they never changed their price. And the reason why they never changed their price is because their branding was so good. People just found out, and they figured out ways to purchase. So yeah, that's a good point. Afford to opt in to technology. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel says I can't afford a 500 month robot, but I can maybe afford 300. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all in what you can afford. I mean, I don't know. That's sort of interesting play. So we took a veer off course here a little bit. I'm not. Of course, we started, guys. We started with talking about AI search engines and answer engines. Really, they're not really search engines, but and then we got into this robot Neo. You guys can look up. Daniel says Apple created the modern smartphone market. You can get a $30 smartphone shipped from China. Yeah, yep, you sure can. It's probably going to be a knockoff model, but because China markets, or because China has uh, the the phones from China are actually because they're made in China, like it's obviously going to be cheaper. So Daniel says 300 is worth the time I spent doing tasks it can offset. Yeah. And yeah, and I so is it sort of like a robot maid, right? Is it a robot maid? Is it a sort of like an assistant that actually helps you do physical chores? I mean, does it do chores outside? Does it, wash cars, or, cut grass? I'm sort of interested in what that looks like. So a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stuff. And that's what we're going to continue to talk about, guys. Um, Daniel says, "Oh, I mean, in general, when Apple released, it was a few $100s to do the same thing." Yep, yep. I mean, it's the same concept, and so if they get their marketing right, I mean, the website looks pretty clean and crisp. Obviously, the robot has certain movements that look archaic and barbaric, so to speak. How it moves and how it walks up the steps is a little bit odd, but I know that's only going to get better. So Daniel says it is. It's exactly what you think it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And there's apparently some sort of piece of software that it uses to learn, I guess, different chores, and it says it grows with you. I don't. That's definitely interesting. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. All fun stuff, man. All fun stuff. And this is what the channel's about. This is what we do. We sort of break the latest and greatest. Daniel is always giving us like new information and new news, and so I like to really dive into these different things. Daniel says if I can save time monitoring food or cleaning or caring for my disabled wife, I can save that time, and my per hour is higher than the average. Yeah, that's the ideal. That's the ideal way to go, right? If you can leverage your time and use your energy for other things, then it makes sense. I'm gonna be interested to see what happens. How this interacts with the now current world and people who are working from home. And if you know where I'm going with this, people who are working from home, and can it train it to do your work oriented task? Or is it something that, like, for example, like if I don't want to wash the clothes, obviously, or if I need to get some chores done around the house, it can sort of do that as and maybe even obviously cooking. Cooking is a big thing. That's a and so we'll see how that goes. Um, but it definitely seems like its potential has good potential. So anyway, guys, this has been great. I'm excited to continue this talk about AI. And as we talk, I want you guys to really lock in with the chat. If you get a chance, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back and watch. I have a ton of videos on AI, so we've talked and had very good discussions. Daniel says it already knows most basic homework tasks. Yeah, gotcha. And this is what guys. This is what this is what we're talking about. This is what this channel is about, and I'm really excited to have you guys. And thank you guys so much for joining today. We'll jump back in, maybe perhaps this weekend. But I want you guys to have a safe weekend. Enjoy your holiday. If you guys, maybe some of you celebrate this, maybe you don't. But enjoy your holiday. As everybody be safe. And yeah, we will definitely see you in a little while. All right, you guys take it easy.